Hey guys, welcome to my channel on books and their screen adaptations or sometimes video game adaptations, vice versa, mixed bag, all that. Welcome back if you subscribe. Before we get into this week's book and movie, please help me keep this channel alive by subscribing, commenting, sharing, and leave comments as you see fit. And smack that like button. All of that really helps me out. This week it is The Dark Tower. And I know the movie went to ludicrous speed through the entire Dark Tower book series. I only read The Gunslinger, and both gave me enough to work with. What the book and movie share are the Gunslinger, whose name is Roland, and I think I can count on one hand how many times his name is dropped in the book. Other than that, he is just the Gunslinger. There is the villainous warlock, known as the Man in Black. His name is Walter in the movie and named just once in the book. And he's the target that Roland is hunting. And there's Jake, the boy from Earth. And one really good shootout scene between the Gunslinger and a horde of demons. The book creates a feeling of a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Something similar to the setting of the Book of Eli, The Road, Walking Dead. The book is definitely the Gunslinger show, whereas the movie is the Jake show. But more on that in just a minute. So, we follow the Gunslinger on his lonely travels through this desolate wasteland. And up until he meets up with Jake and has his first confrontation in the book, he encounters a group of religious fanatics. He keeps company with a mysterious and short-lived paramour named Alice. He is attacked by demons disguised as the denizens of a small village, and in true gunslinger fashion he wastes them all, and comes into contact with Jake, who recalls his life on Earth like it's an ancient civilization long gone. For example, talking about the storefront mannequins the way we talk about the hieroglyphics in the pyramids. When they find the Man in Black, he and the Gunslinger square off with a long and deep conversation and a card game, with a cliffhanger ending that is too good to get to now. I will save it for after what is in the movie. In the movie, which as I said before is the Jake show, follows Jake as he's a lonery, misfit kid in school with amazing artistic talent as he draws what he sees in his dreams. A dark tower, a gunslinger he somehow knows is named Roland, a man in black he knows is evil, and a race of demons who wear human skin like costumes, with seams running down the jawline from behind the ears. Now, I know I only have the first book as a comparison base so far, as the Man in Black and his demons search for Jake on Earth. Jake makes his way to the Gunslinger in the other world, and at first gets a lot of hesitance and doubt from him. And then from there, it's another good versus evil supernatural science fiction action movie, with good winning in the end, obviously. I may revisit this movie again as I read further into the Dark Tower series. There's also a comic book or manga series that I want to check out since the artistry is amazing. And this may be another one of those that I think would be better served as a miniseries as opposed to a single movie. And now for the cliffhanger ending from the book. Behold. There was talk then, a night's worth of talk, and God alone knew how much more. But the Gunslinger remembered little of it later, and to his oddly practical mind, little of it seemed to matter. The Man in Black told him that he must go to the sea, which lay no more than 20 easy miles to the west, and there he would be invested with the power of drawing. But that's not exactly right either, the Man in Black said, pitching his cigarette into the remains of the campfire. No one wants to invest you with a power of any kind, Gunslinger. It is simply in you, and I am compelled to tell you, partly because of the sacrifice of the boy, and partly because it is the law, the natural law of things. Water must run downhill, and you must be told. You will draw 3. I understand, but I don't really care. I don't really want to know. The 3, the Gunslinger murmured, thinking of the oracle. And then the fun begins. But by then I'll be long gone. Goodbye, Gunslinger. My part is done now. The chain is still in your hands. Beware it doesn't wrap itself around your neck. Compelled by something outside him, Roland said, You have one more thing to say, don't you? Yes, the man in black said, and he smiled at the Gunslinger with his depthless eyes and stretched one of his hands out toward him. Let there be light. And there was light. Roland awoke by the ruins of the campfire to find himself 10 years older. His black hair had thinned at the temples and had gone gray of cobwebs at the end of autumn. The lines in his face were deeper, his skin rougher. The remains of the wood he had carried had turned into ironwood. The man in black was a laughing skeleton in a rotting black robe. More bones in this place of bones, one more skull in Golgotha. The Gunslinger stood up and looked around. He looked at the light and saw that the light was good. With a sudden, quick gesture, he reached toward the remains of his companion of the night before, the night that had somehow lasted 10 years. He broke off Walter's jawbone and jammed it carefully into the left hip pocket of his jeans. A fitting enough replacement for the lost under the mountains. The tower, somewhere ahead. It waited for him. The nexus of time, the nexus of size. He began west again, his back set against the sunrise, heading towards the ocean. Realizing that a great passage of his life had come and gone. I loved you, Jake, he said aloud. The stiffness wore out of his body, and he began to walk more rapidly. By that evening he had come to the end of the land. He sat on a beach that stretched left and right forever, deserted. The waves beat endlessly against the shore, pounding and pounding. The setting sun painted the water in a wide strip of fool's gold. There the Gunslinger sat, his face turned up into the fading light. He dreamed his dreams and watched as the stars came out. His purpose did not flag, nor did his heart falter. His hair, finer now and gray, blew around his head, and the sandalwood inlaid guns of his father lay smooth and deadly against his hips. He was lonely, but did not find loneliness in any way a bad or ignoble thing. The dark came down on the world, and the world moved on. The Gunslinger waited for the time of the drawing, and dreamed his long dreams of the Dark Tower, to which he would some day come to at dusk and approach, winding his horn, to do some unimaginable final battle. That's all I have right now for the Dark Tower. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments and smash the like button. And I'll see you back next week for Something Wicked This Way Comes.